Happy New Year, dear Marvelous fans! We hope you've had an amazing year. Today, we've decided to do something special by looking back at the best returns in the WWE of 2024, which left us and the die-hard fans of wrestling in shock and awe. So grab your bowl of popcorn and get comfortable, as you're about to be hit by nostalgia like never before. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. On the very first day of January 2024, The Rock made his surprising comeback when he showed up on a Day 1 special episode of Raw. This comeback really took all the fans aback, as he had not appeared in any wrestling-related shows since 2016. You could tell his sudden comeback was absolutely mind-blowing, because as soon as he came on screen, the audience went berserk. Upon entering the ring, he instantly confronted Jinder Mahal, and even hinted at challenging Roman Reigns by asking the entire crowd if he should sit at the head of the table, which was clearly a direct reference to Reigns' moniker. But that wasn't all. After his initial comeback, he proceeded to show up in an episode of SmackDown on February 2nd, where he directly confronted Roman Reigns after Cody Rhodes, who was currently the Royal Rumble winner, postponed his WrestleMania 40 challenge so that there could be a proper matchup between the two pillars. Although this was supposed to allow The Rock and Roman Reigns to have a proper match, it instead caused The Rock to team up with Reigns, adopting a persona reminiscent of his old one, called the Hollywood Rock, which he used back in the year 2003. Funnily, a major amount of WWE fans were not even born or were just toddlers when The Rock used this persona of his, so this comeback just kept getting better and better. Soon he officially joined the Bloodline faction, the villainous wrestling group, where he absolutely rocked a new theme and gave himself the new title, The Final Boss. But this was not just the end, oh hell no. After he got his new title, The Rock proceeded to defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins during the WrestleMania 40 tag team match on night 1, and on night 2, he initially attacked John Cena. But soon his momentum was stopped when he got chokeslammed by The Undertaker. Due to this, Rhodes slammed Reigns and emerged victorious, and claimed the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The next night, The Rock congratulated Rhodes for his victory, and announced that he would be taking another hiatus, to film a movie he'd been working on called The Smashing Machine. All in all, his comeback has been crucial for a lot of storyline development, and it has paved a straight path for the upcoming events which are going to happen in 2025. John Cena. If we've talked about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, how can we forget about the face of WWE? Yes, you guys are right. We're talking about none other than John Cena. John Cena is that one guy who's known by everyone, even if they're not big fans of wrestling. There's a high chance that they're still fans of Cena due to his numerous roles in Hollywood, and the unlimited "you can't see me" memes, or just him showing up in videos completely out of context. On April 7th during WrestleMania 40, the same one we mentioned Rock was fighting in, Cena made a surprise appearance where he absolutely broke Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa's momentum by delivering back-to-back attitude adjustments on them, which gave Rhodes the final push to defeat Roman Reigns and finally claim the title of undisputed WWE Universal Champion. The following night, the champ returned to Raw after WrestleMania on April 8th, marking his first match on Raw after 2019, almost a 5-year-long gap. During this match, Cena proceeded to team up with Raw Tag Team Champions, The Awesome Truth, which consisted of none other than The Miz and R-Truth. This team-up was done to defeat Judgment Day, who had JD McDonough, the World Tag Team Champion, Dominic Mysterio, the son of none other than Rey Mysterio, and Finn Balor, the Grand Slam champion. The match was breathtaking, and Cena delivered an attitude adjustment on Dominic Mysterio to secure victory, which also marked his first victory on Raw after several long years. After this victory, John Cena returned to Money in the Bank on July 16th to one of the greatest ovations ever in the history of wrestling, where he delivered an emotional speech in which he stated his intentions to finally retire in 2025. This news was definitely shocking, but understandable as he has one of the greatest runs in wrestling. He also stated that WrestleMania 41 would be his last appearance on any big wrestling stage, and concluded his speech by telling us that his retirement would commence with a grand global retirement tour in January of 2025, and his final match would happen in December of the same year. But one question still remains: will we be able to see him after his retirement? Anyway, moving on from that disappointing joke, let us see the next person on the list. Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio has been a fan favorite as long as we can remember. We all remember playing him in games like WWE SmackDown vs. Raw, and constantly defeating enemies who were 3 times his size in a matter of seconds. And clearly, his actual career is not very different, as he's defeated people like Kevin Nash and Scott Norton. These victories even earned him the title of Giant Killer. During late 2023, due to an injury and storyline break, Rey Mysterio has been on hiatus, but this was all going to change when he made his surprising comeback on 1st March 2024 on SmackDown, when he entered the ring to help out Carlito in a street fight match against Santos Escobar, which turned out to be the exact assist Carlito needed to turn the tides against Santos and claim victory. After his humiliating defeat, Santos Escobar held a grudge against Rey, and he confronted Rey about this on Rey's return to SmackDown on March 15th, which just solidified their already ongoing rivalry and paved a proper extension to the storyline. After all this, on the 1st of July, Rey Mysterio faced his son, Dominic Mysterio, in a fight on Raw. This match had been on the watch list of many fans, as Rey and Dominic had already been brawling for quite some time, especially after WrestleMania. So the fans were eager to see their interaction in a ring to understand the built-up tension between this father and son rivalry. Due to the match being intense and their rivalry being fueled by internal family tension, the audience was eager to find the outcome of the match, until Liv Morgan interfered, which cost Dominic the match. This comeback was very much needed by Rey and his fans, as it clearly showed that the fire in Rey's heart was far from extinguished, and he was ready to show everyone who the real boss was. Rhea Ripley. When charisma, rebellion, and wrestling meet together at the center, we find Rhea Ripley. Rhea, aka Miami, is one of the biggest powerhouses in the wrestling scene right now. With her goth look and her very iconic black jacket, Rhea has seemed to take over the hearts of her fans from the very beginning. Even though Rhea never really left the wrestling scene, she had a major injury in late October, which made everyone question when she would be returning. During an episode of NXT, Rhea was surprisingly attacked at the WWE Performance Center parking lot by none other than Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, the well-known women's world champion. This surprise was definitely scripted, but what may not have been scripted was the fractured right orbital socket that she got during the attack. This injury was played off as part of the storyline, and Rhea was sidelined for a few weeks to recover, and everyone expected her to be off screen for at least a few months. But boy, were we wrong. Shattering everyone's misconception, Rhea miraculously returned to Monday Night Raw on November 18th, where she was seen wearing a protective shield on her face. She didn't hesitate to challenge her attackers, Liv Morgan and her team, to a brutal fight in a War Games match at Survivor Series 2024. This clearly showed all her fans that Rhea was far from backing down, and a socket injury was not enough to keep her away from the ring. This definitely was the right move, as the audience went into total chaos, and every single person cheered for her, showing their support to the champion. After all this, at the War Games, Rhea led her team to victory, as she showcased her leadership skills and resilience by pinning Liv Morgan and securing the win for her team. Not only did this solidify her team's not-defeated title, but it also made the rivalry between Liv Morgan and Rhea much more serious, which definitely opened up a lot of doors for future storyline developments. Seth freaking Rollins. One of the most recognized names in WWE, this 5-time world champion has to be one of the greatest wrestlers to ever set foot in the professional ring. From winning the title of Feud of the Year in 2014 to winning the title of the most hated wrestler of all time 2 times. He has to be the perfect blend of acting and wrestling. 2024 was definitely a rough year for Seth Rollins, as it was filled with losses and injuries, which definitely became frustrating for both himself and his fans. On January 1st, 2024, Seth was participating in Raw Day 1, where he matched against Drew McIntyre and successfully retained his World Heavyweight Champion title. But this was not their final brawl that year. This defeat had left Drew's craving for the title even more. Although this victory made everyone think that Seth would continue to have a great wrestling year ahead, Seth Rollins unfortunately suffered from a torn MCL and partially torn meniscus, which forced him to go on hiatus. Usually, injuries like these take time to heal properly, so fans were really sad to even think that Rollins would not show up anytime soon. But just as everyone thought he would not be returning to WrestleMania 40, Rollins made an almost full recovery and joined the championship wagon. This was definitely a rough one, and it affected Seth Rollins too, as he faced Drew McIntyre yet again. But this time, Drew emerged on top as he defeated Seth Rollins, and finally took away the World Heavyweight Championship title, ending his reign at 316 days. After this, he lost the triple threat match at the Money in the Bank event in July, against Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Soon after this defeat, in August 2024, Rollins was put in an injury storyline where he was brutally attacked by Bronson Reed, which resulted in him having multiple internal injuries and broken ribs. This angle was purposefully written to write Rollins off for a brief period. Damn, Seth just couldn't catch a break. But not to worry, soon after, Seth returned yet again, filled with desire for revenge, and revenge is what he got. After numerous defeats and injuries, Seth returned during Crown Jewel 2024, where he confronted his attacker Bronson Reed. The match was a furious one, with both the competitors showing off their true talents and strengths, with no one getting the upper hand in the fight. But Seth needed to prove to himself and the world that he was not going down without a fight. Rollins soon found an opening where he cleverly and flawlessly carried out a super curb stomp from the top rope, which knocked Bronson on the floor and allowed Rollins to finally win via pinfall. Seth really showed the world why he was known as Seth freaking Rollins, and even showcased just how talented he is as a wrestler. Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez has been a significant player in the WWE roster and has managed to gather a pretty big fan base for sure. This 6-foot-tall beast of a fighter is not to be trifled with. Raquel has managed to win 3 WWE Women's Tag Team Championship titles under her belt, along with 1 NXT Women's Championship title. Early in the year, Raquel had been missing from the WWE, and in January 2024, she revealed that she had been diagnosed with a skin disease called MCAS. Not long after, on February 26, she faced up against Chelsea Green in a singles match, where she ended up winning and showing the world that nothing could hold her back. But this was the last match she appeared in, and after months of small updates and almost no exact date of return, she surprised everyone when she suddenly returned to WWE in October 2024 during the Bad Blood event, where she teamed up with her previous partner, Liv Morgan, against Rhea Ripley to help Liv keep hold of her title. Soon, she even joined the Judgment Day faction, which indicated that there might be a significant change to her character. Not only did this return cause the rivalry between her and Rhea to grow even bigger, but it also marked her place back in the WWE roster for good. In the following months, Raquel made a lot of notable appearances, but the most significant one was on December 9th during the episode of WWE Raw in an Anything Goes match against Rhea Ripley. This fight was notable because it was one of the most intense matches, where both the fighters showcased their skills against each other like never before. It was so intense that even other competitors interfered in the match, and during all this, Ripley and Rodriguez did not back down until the climax, where Ripley pulled out her infamous signature move called Riptide, which sent Rodriguez straight through a table, securing Ripley her victory. Goldberg. Goldberg is a WWE Hall of Famer everybody is aware of, after he showcased his true power by having a win streak of 173-0. He was an absolute monster back in his prime and continued to be a menace even as he got older. On February 19th, 2022, during the Elimination Chamber PLE, Goldberg faced off against one of his strongest rivals, Roman Reigns, for the WWE Universal Championship. In this highly awaited match, Reigns defeated Goldberg by submission, which disappointed him and a lot of fans. After this defeat, Goldberg stepped away from the WWE entirely, and fans were sure that this was going to be one of his final appearances. Fast forward to 2024, during Bad Blood, Goldberg was seen in the audience with his son Gage, when he was ridiculed and challenged by Gunther, who was the World Heavyweight Champion. This insult caused Goldberg to charge into the ring and confront Gunther. Even though they didn't fight that night, the intense face-to-face interaction made it clear to fans that Goldberg was going to return to WWE pretty soon. Subsequently, on November 2nd, 2024, Goldberg officially announced that he was going to have his retirement match in 2025. This announcement has made a lot of fans theorize that due to the previous confrontation with Gunther, there's a high possibility that the two might face off against each other in a proper match pretty soon. And about his official retirement match, even though not much information has been released, there are possibilities that he might face fighters like Braun Breaker, which will possibly open up a lot of new storylines. Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso is a pretty big WWE star with 8 victories in the WWE Tag Team Championship division, with his twin brother Jey Uso, along with a lot of other notable titles. Jimmy was a common fighter to show up during a lot of fights, but this all changed on April 12, during an episode of SmackDown where he was attacked by Tama Tonga and his own brother Solo Sikoa. That's right folks, Sikoa is also one of the 4 Uso siblings. Due to this heavy beatdown delivered to him, he was expelled from the Bloodline faction, and let's just say he didn't take it very well. After almost a 6-month-long hiatus, Jimmy made a dramatic entrance during the Bad Blood event on 5th October, where he disguised himself in a hooded sweatshirt and assisted Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes against the Bloodline. Following his return on October 11, 2024, Jimmy Uso faced Solo Sikoa in a singles match during a SmackDown episode, where he was unfortunately defeated by his brother after his brother used the Samoan Spike on him. Soon after his defeat, Jimmy teamed up with his twin brother Jey Uso on October 20th during another SmackDown episode, intending to take down the Bloodline, which means that the Tag Team Champion brothers might be returning together for an intense battle as a tag team again. Jimmy Uso's return has majorly progressed the storyline regarding the Bloodline faction and has been extremely well received by fans. Marvelous verdict. Wrestling is a sport that never stops delivering its fans the best storylines, mixed with intense drama and undoubtedly one of the most expressive actions of all time. No matter the injuries or losses faced by the fighters, they always bounce back. And just like them, we, the Marvelous team, will keep coming back with more interesting content like this. We hope you guys had an amazing start to the year 2025, and stay tuned for more.